Oh, this should be fun, everyone. Electrical damage. Both an amazing, yet outlying mechanic in this game that has so much untapped potential that it hurts me to even think about sometimes. But derived from electric darts, morning stars, Volt Goat chaud-froid, and, well, that's about it. Electrical damage could very well become a new, exciting meta of sorts if it only had the help it deserves. But bear with me here, as this video is both a guide and discussion. But first things first, how do we actually achieve electricity? Again, 3 ways, but let us start with electrical darts first. Accessible via a base science machine, we will also be needing 2 cut reeds, a piece of gold, and 1 saffron feather for 1 dart each craft. And the cut reeds can come abundantly from the swamp, so they're probably the simplest material to get. Then again, gold is also very common, as we can mine boulders in rocky lands, forests, and even the Dragonfly Desert, mine stalagmites in the caves, or trade trinkets to the Pig King, and plenty more. So with all that, the saffron feathers, what's their deal? Well, saffron feathers are dropped from canary birds, and canaries essentially replace spawning crows in certain biomes and on top of certain turf when a friendly scarecrow is nearby. So your best bet, set up a scarecrow in one of your deserts, and then just get the bird watching. Or better yet, bird murdering. There are lots of ways to encounter, kill, and even farm birds in this game, and I am not going to go through that now because this is not a bird farming video. But from feather hats and boomerangs to Wickerbottom's birds of the world. I would actually refrain from doing any of this when it comes to canary birds before you hear of this next method, as canaries themselves only have a 9% chance at dropping their feathers, and that's simply not good enough. Because while farming birds is absolutely viable and accessible, canaries do give us one other option: poisoning. No, seriously, caging a canary down in the caves while Toadstool is alive, mind you, is an amazing way to farm for saffron feathers. So capture a few of the rats with wings and then just lock them up down below for a little while. Because after a little while, specifically 6 to 12 minutes, the canaries should get sick, and after harvesting them from the bird cage, you will actually receive a volatile canary. And these are our new best friends if electrical darts are what we're after. For you see, dropping a volatile canary on the ground in the caves will result in the canary going poof. And this not only leads to 1 to 2 saffron feathers guaranteed, it also brings us to the misery Toadstool fight of all things. But that is a whole other thing, so moving on. As we need to talk about dropping canaries up above, folks. Cause yes, doing so is the far better option, as the canaries will leave behind 5 to 6 saffron feathers each instead. So yep, if you want electric darts, then here is your ticket to them very, very efficiently. Good luck. But electric darts are not our only ticket to electrical damage, mind you, as morning stars would now like a word. Made via an alchemy engine, using 2 niter, 2 electrical doodads, and a Volt Goat horn, morning stars are honestly really cool weapons that have seemingly been forgotten about for 2 reasons. The Volt Goat horn is gonna be a limiting factor, and electrical damage itself is just gimmicky. But what if I told you that neither of those things are entirely true? As yes, unfortunately, the Volt Goats themselves only have a 25% chance to drop a horn upon death, and their numbers will be low at first. But there is a relatively new and very easy way to quote-unquote fix that. Oh, but before we get there, your best bet for actually killing Volt Goats is either bonking them individually with a ranged weapon and then fighting them individually that way, or just waiting for them to sleep in order to kill them individually that way. So, yep, good luck there too. But wow, talk about using the same bloody word 3 times in a row. But about that new way to put some numbers in our favor, folks. Volt Goats are now huntable. It must be spring, it must be raining, and the hunt must originate from within the Oasis Desert itself. But if you meet all 3 of those criteria and complete the hunt, you have a high, if not guaranteed chance to spawn in a Volt Goat, folks. And I say guaranteed as I've actually never gotten anything other than a new goat when meeting all 3 of the criteria, but don't hold me to that. Whatever the case though, this new goat comes with a bonus. The chance at a new herd, folks. So yes, just get to hunting as much as you can, making new herds as much as you can, and your goat numbers will increase in order to get more of them horns. Because if you're not increasing the herd size for the Morning Stars, then you should be doing it for this Volt Goat chaud-froid. Yes, indeed, everyone. 2 out of the 3 methods of achieving electrical damage in this game require Volt Goat horns, so numbers are gonna matter. So, perhaps we'll talk about how to actually farm Volt Goats automatically soon too, so be prepared for that. For now, however, know that this electric jelly is a Warley exclusive, and it's something that has had its day on this channel already. So if you truly want to witness its insane potential, game-breaking even, then you'll have to head elsewhere, as it's now time to discuss what electrical damage at its base even means. For you see, electrical damage is essentially just a damage modifier, not an actual type of real damage per se. Take electric darts for example. At their base, they deal 60 damage, but the electrical damage modifier of 1.5 times ups that to 90 each spit instead. So then, just move things over to the Morning Star, which deals a mere 28.9 damage a swing at its base, and the modifier graciously ups that to 43.3 per hit instead. It's not great by any stretch, but do note that Morning Stars only lose durability when held and give off light, which is pretty neat. But lastly, the blue jelly takes the cake, as eating it simply makes the player themselves deal electrical damage with anything, including their fists. So just take for example my spear here. I normally deal 34 damage. However, the jelly ups my damage to 51, and it will keep it there for 5 minutes. And that's just with a plain old spear, as Wilson, with no other combat modifiers. So, oh yes, now we're getting somewhere. However, to go any further, we need to get wet. Well, maybe not us actually, but still. Electrical damage truly shines only in wet conditions or against wet mobs, as the modifier then climbs from 1.5 times to 2.5 times instead. So with this, electrical darts start to deal 150 damage a spit. Morning Stars absolutely skyrocket from 28.9 to 72.3 damage a hit, which makes them great for spring or ruins diving, mind you. And chaud-froid is absolutely ridiculous, as it can make even a simple spear deal a whopping 85 damage per swing. It's nuts, but what other mobs besides tentacles are actually Wetbeard? Well, sadly only 2. Our green, scaly friends of the swamp in Merms, and depth worms themselves from below, everyone. And yup, that's it really. Electrical weaponry are amazing against all 3, obviously, and with spring potentially wetting other mobs, it could be wise to have an electrical weapon at the ready. But can we not just make other mobs Wetbeard? Well, yes, but actually no. For you see, while water balloons do exist, and do raise the wetness of Dragonfly and other players, no other mob in the entire game is actually affected by them. Only sustained rain can truly make other mobs wet. While I truly do agree with spring being the season to do so and potentially open up the possibilities of electrical damage, I also just ask why we can't make water balloons do more. If water balloons could make all mobs wet, then electrical damage becomes extremely viable, and things like electric darts or Morning Stars become less forgotten about. Heck, they could even become mainstream in some cases. It'd be interesting and open up a whole new door for combat for this game. And that's my quality of life update hope, folks. Make water balloons matter, and then electrical damage matters. But I digress. Before we wrap up, let us remember that this isn't still a pseudo guide of sorts. So what else can electrical damage do for us? Well, how about electrifying goats? any of the three sources can achieve such a thing. And electrified Voltgoats not only become super aggressive, but also shock us on every hit, even the hits that we land on them. But we can negate this by wearing lightning-proof clothing. And electrified Voltgoats drop pretty much the same loot, but they also drop what is known as electric milk. And while electric milk is a food item that can be drunk straight up, it is better used in two other crockpot recipes: ice cream and the milk-maid hat. Ice cream restores 50 sanity, 25 hunger, 0 health, and lowers our temperatures by 15 degrees for a little while the milk-maid hat restores just under 4 hunger every 5 seconds when we wear it atop our noggins. Good stuff. But there you have it, everyone. Admittedly, a long-winded way of saying, pleading even, that electrical damage needs to be more of a thing in this game. Just one tweak to water balloons, and the realm of electrifying possibilities are honestly endless, especially with that legendary blue pile of gelatinous goodness. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. Go out and shock the world, and I'll see ya in the next one. Bye-bye.